so much for joining me today. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm doing Pan That Palette. And just so you know, just so we're all on equal footing here, this is the 5th time I'm filming this intro. I was really struggling with it earlier, and then I pulled my SD card, went to go pull the files off, and they weren't there. So clearly I forgot to, either I forgot to hit record, which would be whoa, or I forgot to stop recording before I pulled the card out. So it is what it is. We're refilming, so hopefully I don't repeat myself. Hopefully I don't forget something I want to tell you. Let's just go from there. So I will be posting my inventory coming soon. I will have part 1 in the next week or so, which is my blush, bronzers, highlights, face palettes. And when I look at those numbers and just how much they've gone up over the past year, I'm not on an official low buy or no buy, but I really want to rein in on my consumption for 2022. So one way I've tried to kind of do that is do a lot of painting projects. And so in the past I've used shopping and I've used like eating as coping mechanisms. I think a lot of us do that. And for 2022, I really want to use putting on makeup or playing with my makeup as my coping mechanism, because I can't go on buying the world because I don't have enough space. So that's really my goal. So with that being said, I wasn't going to do a Pan That palette, and then I thought maybe I'll do a Pan That palette. And then I started panning those eyeshadows, which I said I wasn't going to do pan those eyeshadows, but I started panning those eyeshadows, and now I'm doing a Pan That palette. And again, it's mostly because number one, I want to get use out of my products. Number 2, I really want makeup to be my coping mechanism in 2022, because 2022 is going to be a little rough. And I just, like I said, I just can't buy anything else. Where am I going to put it, number 1? And there's not a single color on this planet, other than maybe something cool like a duochrome or multichrome or something, that I don't have. So with that being said, I am going to be painting a palette. I'm going to actually do an eyeshadow palette and a face palette. So this project was created by Amber F, and most people, when they say pan that palette, they mean pan a palette to completion. Pan eyeshadows to completion, pan a palette to completion. Jessica does it every year. Dani did it in 2021, and she just about finished her Modern Renaissance, and she's working on another one for 2022. Becca Hope, she finished a palette. Like, it's lots of people finished complete eyeshadow palettes, like finished an eyeshadow palette during this project. I have a little bit lesser goal than that. My goal is just going to be to hit pan in these eyeshadows. So if you missed it, I'm doing 2 Beauty A to Z. I'm doing 1 eyeshadow edition and 1 regular edition. In the eyeshadow edition, I have 26 eyeshadows that are either shimmer or glitter that I'm trying to hit pan on. So in pan those eyeshadows and in pan that palette, I'm going to be working strictly on matte shades. So the theme for the Pantastic Ladies this year is size matters. Like I said, Amber F created the concept, and the Pantastic Ladies have done a themed project for the last probably 4 or 5 years, if I had to think about it. And so this year, Jessica recommended Size Matters. It was voted on. People wanted that one. So it's something either oversized, bulky packaging, just something that's kind of cumbersome. So initially, my first thought was my BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, because it's up here, because it's big. And there's a pretty nice selection of mattes in there. It's mostly purples and browns with a little hit of green. And I thought, yeah, that would work, because I have a lot of mauve-y kind of rosy tones in my palettes. I've only introduced half of the palette, by the way, for my Beauty A to Z. The second half will come during the first update. So I have a lot of colors that I was like, okay, I can use some of those mattes, but then I thought that's a little limiting to me, especially like the green and the 2 darks. So I decided to go with a different palette. So some of the shades in this palette are going to be competing with the ones in my Pan That palette, and pan those eyeshadows, and I'll talk about how I'm going to work around that. But first, let me show you the palette. It's this. the Profusion Infatuation palette. It is a 21 pan eyeshadow palette. It has 9 shimmers and 12 mattes. Is that 21? I think that's 21. And I'm going to be working strictly on the mattes. My goal is to hit pan in every matte in this palette. I've never panned a Profusion. I've never panned a palette. I've only have one pan in an eyeshadow. So in my whole collection, powder eyeshadow. I have plenty in Super Shocks. So this is going to be a new experience for me. But my goal is to hit pan in every single shade. So this whole entire row at the bottom are mattes. These two are mattes, and then these 3 are mattes. So these two right here are very similar to Cherish and I can't remember, Heartfelt, I think, is what I'm painting in my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. And then these two are kind of similar to Jelly in my Donut palette, but they're a little bit brighter. This one, I don't know what it looks like on camera because lost the footage, but in person it's like a neon pink. So again, my goal is going to be to hit pan in every single one of these shades. So since several of these are competing shades, once I roll out the similar shade in my Pan Those eyeshadows, I will move on to the one in this palette. So again, this is new to me. I've never, I don't even know that I've used this. There is a really pretty duochrome in this palette. I am not going to touch the shimmers unless the shimmers coordinate with the shimmers that I'm using on a look, and they don't compete. So those aren't the best swatches ever, but we'll see. Now there are some Profusion palettes that have really, really good quality, and there are some that don't. And it's kind of hit or miss, up or down. So we'll see. Again, you saw me swatch it. That was only, like, I swatched it earlier when I was filming the first time, but this is literally only the second time that it's ever been swatched. So I'm really excited about this project. Again, makeup therapy. We're going to do it. 2022 is going to be our year. Again, I'm not doing an official low buy or no buy. I am going to do a no buy February. But I really, I really have to take myself in hand and just be like, Misty, you can't live this way. Like, we just can't. We're running out of spice. We have these little drawers and that's it. Plus, you know, the money thing, which for me, we get an allowance. Like my husband and I, we get an allowance. And so my allowance, I can spend on makeup. I can spend on crafting supplies. I can basically spend on what I want. Skincare, hair care, body care, that's a little different because that's like, I consider those things hygiene and what you would normally use, but makeup is a little bit different. So that comes out of my fun money. So yeah, I spent a lot of fun money last year because I also, whatever I make from my YouTube channels, which is the At Home with Misty channel and the Jolly Fat Elf channel, which is like $100 every couple months, I can also put toward makeup. So yeah. So my makeup inventory will be coming soon, and you'll get an even better understanding about why I want to do all the projects in 2022 and then try to hit pan and everything. Another reason is, I'm not doing anything official, but I think it's Becca Lynn Beauty. I will have her channel link, I'll link the video down below. She is doing kind of like an eyeshadow bank. So in order to bring an eyeshadow in, she has to hit pan on an eyeshadow in the year. So if she wants a 21 pan eyeshadow palette, she has to hit pan in 21 shades in that year. And I think that's awesome. And I'm going to give it a go. Again, unofficially. It's not something where I'm going to sit down and pour my heart out to you, but unofficially. And the end of December, like the end of 2021, the first of 2022 has been difficult to say the least. And so I've gone on a little bit of a shopping rampage on Mercari, and I can't, I'm going to have to, like, I just can't. So again, I really hope that this will help me just kind of move my energy to something different. The TLDR thing is that 4.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a disease called myasthenia gravis. It's neuromuscular junction disorder. Think along the lines of ALS, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, I think is kind of in the same kind of vein. that was 4.5 years ago, and I've been treated for it for 4.5 years. So my neurologist told us in November she was retiring on December 31st. On December 28th, I get a phone call from that neurologist, and she tells me as she's tying up loose ends that she thinks she's misdiagnosed me for like 4.5 years ago, and I've been mistreated for 4.5 years. And then she was like, peace out, Girl Scout, and she was done. And it literally just kind of rocked my whole world. It's not been easy. And I basically have to go through all the painful testing that I went through in 2017. So it's just a lot. And now we're about to have our bathroom remodeled, so it's a lot of stress just right here at the beginning of the year. And again, my coping mechanism has always been eating or shopping, and I really want to flip that switch. I really want to turn to makeup as my coping mechanism and not buying makeup, playing with makeup. So bear with me. In that same vein, last year I did a Pan That Face palette, and this year I kept hemming and hawing. I was like, no, I'm not going to. Yes, I'm going to. Well, in one of those little shopping sprees on Mercari, I picked up this. This is the Sweet Peach Glow from Too Faced. This is an Alex and Rebecca made me buy it. So Alex, who is Alejandro Lisette, Rebecca, who's panning and stuff, both of them have panned this palette to completion. And I've had FOMO ever since. So I picked this up on Mercari. Mercari is it's kind of like Poshmark, where it's gently used or new or whatever. So I picked this up. So right away it said that the seller had created the shipping label, and then it just didn't move for 3 or 4 days. And on the 3rd or 4th day, I reached out to the seller and I was like, hey, did you take this? She's like, yeah, I took it the first day. I don't know what's going on. So the two of us thought it was lost because it literally hadn't scanned. It was supposed to be from California to Dallas, and we had no idea where it was. So I found another one that was even less expensive, and I went ahead and picked that up. Well, not even a day later, this shows up on my doorstep. It literally was not scanned from California to Dallas. How it made it and didn't get lost in the mail, I will never know. But I didn't feel comfortable reaching out to the other seller and telling her I wasn't going to buy it. So I ended up with 2 of these. So we're going to pan one. This is the Gillette formula. It's very similar to the MAC Glow Play blushes that I have been obsessed over. So I am really excited to play around with this. It does still smell like peaches. It's all been sanitized, etc. So my initial goal is going to be to hit pan in these, but I hope that I will get to a point where I use it up. I don't know that I can do it in a year. My goal is to wear makeup 4 days a week. I've done it this week, this first week. This is January 16th. Week 1 is done. So we'll see. But yeah, I just love the look of this. It's really pretty. So there's a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. I am not the biggest fan of peachy blushes on me. I mean, I'm pretty much can pull off any color because I'm more of a neutral skin tone, but I tend to lean more pink than I do peach. So it'll be interesting, but I'm really excited to play around with it. So that is going to be my Pan That Face palette. And if you missed it, last year I panned a sleek contour palette. I've finished the 3 dark shades, panned those to completion. And then I was working on a cream blush palette for Makeup Revolution. Initial goal was to finish it. Amended goal was to hit pan in 4 of them, and I hit pan in 4 of them. You will see that come back in here or there, but I was a little tired of it, so I put it away. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to do my best not to keep, I want this channel to be my escape. Like, makeup is my therapy, is my escape. So I don't want this channel to be about a lot of stuff that's happening. So if you're interested, make sure you check out the At Home with Missy channel down below. If you're interested in card making or watching me color, you can check out the Jolly Elf channel. So that's kind of what my other alter egos, my other things that I do is I make cards and talk about myself on the internet like you do. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to do this. I hope you guys are doing well. This is a little bit late, like I mentioned. I may end in December. I may go through January. I hope I've remembered everything. Created by Amber F. Doing Size Matters. That was created by Jessica, voted on by the Fantastic Ladies. Links down below. That's really all you need to know. All right, guys. Bye for now. Oh, before you go. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should do monthly updates as its own video or put it with Pan Those Eyeshadows. because I'm curious. So yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.